Okay, so if you were one of the, 200 people that watched the runners-up video in my top 5 favorite video game series, which I swear I haven't abandoned, you might recall that when talking about Third Strike, I name-dropped Guilty Gear Xrd. It was a game I loved, but I think I said something along the lines of my competitive time with the game being over. See, the reason for that is because Xrd works on delay-based netcode, which makes a game as precise as Xrd nearly impossible to play online, especially when you are in the Midwest like me. The newest Guilty Gear, Strive, was made with rollback netcode, a vastly superior style of netplay implementation that makes highly competitive fighting games possible in an online setting. The oldest Guilty Gear, Plus R, was also retrofitted with rollback netcode, so Xrd became this red-headed stepchild. Both the games before and after Xrd were playable, but Xrd was still stuck in the past. The game is alive in more metropolitan areas and in places with better infrastructure, but once again, Midwest. What makes this even more depressing is that it was deemed kind of impossible to ever have Xrd retrofitted the same way Plus R was. According to highly reliable sources like Zynac, Xrd would practically have to be rebuilt to ever be playable with rollback, and with Xrd being a dead series in terms of developer support, this was an accepted nail in the coffin for the game. It would be forever lost to the past as the rest of the series continued towards the future. And then CEO Otaku 2022 happened. I know this channel has finally expanded outside of my large fighting game-centric popularity, so I don't know if I can properly describe what this feels like. But if I had to compare the magnitude of what Xrd getting rollback feels like, imagine PT was just announced as being free and available again. This was never supposed to happen. We had every reason to give up hope that Xrd would have a reliable net play infrastructure, but my god, it was real and it works. Xrd Rollback is the game of the year 2022. It's not even close. Everything that advanced me in the fighting game community, both in my skill and in name recognition, came from Xrd. It was the first point where I ever became competitively good at something. I was no world beater, god, far from it, but I could be competitive. I could do more than just 0-2 or 2-2. I could win money matches. I had rivalries. I was chosen to be part of a regional exhibition like the Team Summit at the Combo Breaker 2016. And I didn't blow it. I won a match on stage. Maybe I am much more known competitively as a Merkava player in Under Night, as I did better in that game, but I wouldn't be there if not for my success in Xrd, and having to say goodbye to that part of my life sucked. It's easy when Xrd is the hottest game around to find people to play with, to suffer with the netcode, but once it gets a little bit in the rear view, it was so difficult to keep a grip on it. During the pandemic, a Midwest-focused Xrd series was started, and I was so fucking excited to play in it. I spent the week so geeked for it, and god, the day of, I could barely concentrate at work. Nothing mattered, because once I got home, I had a reason to play Xrd. But then I got in the bracket and I nearly cried. My connections were unplayable, absolutely unplayable. I was spiking to 7 frames of delay with someone a state away who I personally knew. I was crushed beyond words. I had built up the idea of being able to engage with one of my favorite games again, and it had delivered nothing but disappointment and depression. And I never have to experience that again. It works now. I can play against people. Fuck, I was getting 3 frames to 4 frames against people in the UK, people across a motherfucking ocean. Maybe not the best delay, but that's incredibly playable for people in another fucking country. There was a reason to play Xrd again. The game wouldn't betray me. The time I wanted to spend with it would now be worth it. We could run tournaments again, do long sets with other people, and meaningfully learn. We could have a healthy online ecosystem that translates to a healthy offline ecosystem. But it's not just that the game is better now. I am better now. My time spent playing games like Under Night and King of Fighters 14 and 15 allowed me to approach games differently and think in new ways that I could apply backwards to Xrd. Previously in Xrd, I was plateauing for years. I was so aggressive with a character that didn't always want to do that, but as my friend once evergreenly pointed out, I was playing like I was afraid of neutral. but now I have a better grasp of how to play to my strengths, and my brain could identify and adapt. Previously, when I was getting mixed, my brain would just read it like TV static. Like, I knew the mix was coming, but I didn't really think about it critically. I more just reacted to it as it happened to me. But now I can mentally gather data and feel like I'm approaching my weaknesses in an engaged way. I'm smarter, I'm better, I'm more varied, I'm thinking in ways that are not linear. I'm evolving. That's why Exert Rollback is the game of the year. It's not just that one of the games I love is alive again, but that I, as a human, am better now. Games are entertainment and there's nothing wrong with that, but my nearly decade-long journey with Exert hasn't ended. I'm not an old dog that can't be taught new tricks. I have mentally evolved into a smarter person, and that's the most fucking insane shit a game can give me. It makes me want to cry. It almost scares me. Being in my 30s and so many things going wrong with my body had kinda broken me down to believe that my best days were all behind me. But now I have proof, in thanks to Exert Rollback, that I can continue to be a growing and evolving player. Dark Cloud 1 was originally going to get this spot, but everything surrounding Exert Rollback, from the impossibility of it ever happening to how it's allowed me to reflect and grow, makes it a lock for the greatest video game this year.